Hey there, fellow sea peoples. Welcome back to our Obra Dinn guide, and we're about to go have it create another body for us. Alright. First one. Remember, there were 3 lying here in the last section.
Ahoy! Wait! Don't shoot! I have treasure! I yield! Hold your fire!
Ah, hold my fire. Pah, I will hold no fire. So, we got this guy. This is our dead man. We got this body in here of some sort of monster. We got this body. And then you got another boat behind them. Are they tied together? Yeah, there's a rope right there. This boat has her body. Excuse me. And 2 more of these creepy mermaid monsters. Now, if we come up here and look through the window, we have this guy, who I don't have a name for, but I do have a death for. And we have this guy, also the guy who yelled, "Don't shoot." So, or "Hold your fire," I guess is what he yelled. And notice there's the chest too. So, I think this is my favorite section of the game. I think the graphics through here are really cool, insofar as they can be in this game. Part 4, The Calling. Alright, so look at the dialogue again real quick. Ahoy, ahoy, wait, don't shoot. This guy was shot with a gun by... Now, he was shot by one of the Formosans. We don't know which one yet. Formosa, if you don't know, is Taiwan. So one of these 4 guys shot him, and we'll figure out who several of the Formosans are during this section. So at some point, we'll be able to go back and edit that. Let's see here. Is there anything else I can really tell? Actually, can we figure out who he is? So, first mate, captain. He's obviously an officer. How many of the officers have we not? Second and fourth mates haven't been identified yet. So, we'll see if we can get more information on him during this section. And then we head back here. Now, her... If you are aware that this is a woman's name, you can go ahead and identify her now, but we're not going to just yet. That's all we got, so go ahead and hit that button. Next thing we're going to find out is what happened to him. So right away, now we know that that's Miss Lim, so we know who she is. This guy is, again, on fire. We don't want to be on fire. This guy, as it works out, is hauling the body of this thing back onto the boat. It's kind of hard to tell, but if you look at where his feet are, like he's pushing to pull that. And then the question was, Miss Lim, are you okay? Miss Lim does not really look all that okay. And there's already 2 of these bodies over here. So now we get to wait until the game decides we've had enough time to look around. I love how they've just used just individual pixels of white to make the waves in the water. Like, this just looks really cool to me. Alright, who is this? How did they die? Well, he burned. And it won't let us... it doesn't think we should know yet, but obviously she's Miss Lim, so he is one of these 3 individuals here. We'll hold off on that for a minute, because we can go ahead and identify her. And I think that's all the information we've got so far. So, oops, hit the wrong button there. Sorry about that. And we get to find out what happened to her next anyway. Just stand still. You know exactly where the body is, so... Alright, so this is actually pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that chest. So, she's already dead. She's sitting there bleeding. The light has hit all 3 of the terror beasts. This guy is sitting here with a rather unfortunate spear. Appears to be right in his neck. Here's our intrepid captain, hiding. These 2 guys are also both speared. And he is got the chest open, and he's unleashed whatever this is to kill the 3 mermaid beasts. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's all that there is to see for right now, so... Actually, there's a knife in that guy. It's worth seeing. All right. Now, I think she was clawed by a terrible beast. We'll take another look at it in the next section to be 100% sure, but I believe she was clawed. Alright, so, bunch of stuff going on here. This guy's already speared. Notice that the guy who opened this open, the Formosan King, is, if you look at his right hand, he is stabbing this guy in the back of the neck. And then over here, who are we actually investigating right now? God. Yeah, that's why I'm calling this clawed. This is what's been shining in the distance for the entire game. And we have this dude who's busy getting pulled overboard. And I think this is O'Hagan. No, not yet. Although he did say Nichols Sir, which is going to tell us who this guy is. He's filled in now, notice. So this is Edward Nichols, the second mate. And that means that we've got 2 identified. Oh, you know what? This is O'Hagan. Okay, so O'Hagan, you still breathing? Can you row? Nichols, sir, shoot them for God's sake. And this is the guy who died, who is not O'Hagan or Nichols. Okay, wait a minute. Let's look around a little bit more. Suddenly kind of confused. So, okay, this is O'Hagan. No? Really? O'Hagan, you still breathing? No. That's Nichols. Is this O'Hagan? No. Okay, this is the guy we're trying to figure out. I'm sorry. So, alright. This guy has been stabbed in the neck. So, he was knifed by one of the Formosans, and we don't know which Formosan that it is yet. Although, I think we've got 2, so let's do some brute force here. Because he has to be one of the Formosans, so he's either this guy, or he's this guy, which means that he's this guy. Oh. Hold on. Maybe I don't have 3 yet. Claudes, there's 1. Burned is 2. I don't have 3 yet. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that. Let's go ahead and... bang, the chest. There we go. I remember this one kind of requiring a little bit of careful thinking. Okay. This dude is busy getting dragged overboard. This guy is the one that got killed last time. This guy has got a spear in him, and notice that my dude here is using it to cut his bonds. She has just speared that guy in the side of the head. She's still alive. Basically, all hell's breaking loose. Come on. There we go. Okay. So, bang the chest. We've got a Russian with us. Somebody else give us a weapon. Pick up the oars and rows. The guy who died is not armed. So he is speared by a beast. He's still not identifiable. Officially, at least. He's good. This guy is definitely a Russian. And so this could be any of these three. Although he's not going to be the topman. So he's either Nikishin or Toporov. And looks like he's being drowned. Actually, let's go ahead and... We'll hold off a sec. What's happening? This guy, no. Can't say that he's speared yet either. Okay. Now the spearing happens.
Aye, sir. Check the load of them, sir.
Alright. So this is the guy. Gotta be one of the Chinese. Dressed like a steward, actually, now that I look at him. That's the Russian. So that guy's also dressed like a steward. Okay, so we know that he was speared by a beast. And probably one of the Chinese seamen, because this guy is the translator. Now, this dude, since we know that Nichols is the second mate, this fella is going to be the second mate stewards. That's Samuel Galligan. And he will eventually be knifed by somebody. So, oh wait, okay. So he's not knifed by somebody. He's knifed by this guy who is Hawk Seng Lao. So we can actually go ahead and finish him off because this guy was knifed by Hawk Seng. Okay, so he's done. Come over here. This is Nichols. This is Miss Lim. And then one of these two... So one of these two has got to be O'Hagan. And this guy is going to be one of I guess he's not quite dressed like a steward, but this is one of the Chinese guys. Speared by a terrible beast. Let's see. He's marked completely unknown. Let's see if I call him O'Hagan, if it pops. No? Is that enough to... Do I have 3? So, shotgun, unknown, 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 Claude. So there's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Speared... Okay, wait a minute. There's 4. Speared by a beast. That's 1. Clubbed unknown. No. Knifed by Lao. That's 2. Killed by unknown. Burned. Maybe she wasn't clawed. Was she strangled? Because she was definitely killed by one of the beasts. Was she spiked? So something's wrong, because we should have had something pop by now. Alright, we're going to back out. So these other 2 were both drowned by beasts. And just pulled overboard. And you know what? If we're doing... Oh, man. Let's take a look at Miss Lim again. Oh, I didn't want this one. Okay. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more guessing until we can figure out what we've got missing here. So, are all of the Chinese guys topmen? Guess they just brought him because he's a translator, maybe? Huh. Okay. So we got to mark this guy unknown. I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong here. So we don't know him. Let's turn off O'Hagan. This one I'm pretty convinced is right. O'Hagan, you still breathing? Can you row? I mean, yeah, this is... I'm not wrong about his name, am I? Let me see if I can figure out who the Formosan that shot that guy was. I know Hawk Seng didn't do it. Interesting. So what are we doing wrong here? All right, well, you know what? Let's just turn off what we don't know. We can always come back later. I don't want to spend like 100 years trying to figure out what I did wrong on this section. Although I would like to figure out the O'Hagan thing. Okay, wait a minute. Which one was the O'Hagan Are You Breathing? Okay, so that's when Galligan died. He was knifed by Hawk Seng. That's all right. What section was that? That's part 3. So if he's asking my dude if he's breathing... Nope, that's part 6. Shoot.
Ahoy! Ahoy! Wait! Don't shoot! I have treasure! I yield! Open fire!
Okay. So... this is the one with O'Hagan, you still breathing, and Nichols, shoot him for God's sake. He wouldn't ask this guy who's getting pulled overboard if he's still breathing. He yells at Nichols. This guy is not... It's interesting that they don't have... So this has got to be O'Hagan. Alright, and let's take as close a look as we can to this. We've got her... spiked by a beast? No. Is she being torn apart? Is she being clawed? I think that's what I had originally. She's not being decapitated. She's not being eaten. She's not being knifed or shot or speared or spiked. Strangled? Alright, we're sticking with clawed. And I'm not sure why I haven't gotten a yes, some of these are right, but whatever. Okay, so now we're back on board, and we have Finished up the calling, so part 3 is called Murder. Outside the first mate's window is where we're heading. First mate is going to be on the gun deck, in the back, on the left. Which, yes, I know those aren't ship words. Starboard? Is starboard left? Wrong direction. Port. Port is left, because port has 4 letters. Alright, look out the window, and oh hey, look, there's bugs. Dun dun!
Slash the lifts and lower the boats. The whole crew will be on us.
So this now is the kidnapping, where they're trying to take everybody. And you can see they've got the chest on there. They've got these folks getting lowered down. But the actual shooting is happening over here to this guy. He's got Miss Lim and who actually are you? Okay, that's Nichols. And that's who we think is O'Hagan. They knocked these two out? Is that what's happened? Alright, so he just yelled, "Give it up," and then took a bullet to the chest. So he was shot with a gun by Nichols. But we don't know who he is yet. And can I identify anybody else? This guy has got a spear in him. So they caused some trouble on their way out. And now we finally get to see what that picture has been all about. I think actually this will let us clear up all the Formosans too. I know we don't need to chase the light, but sometimes it's fun. Bum bum.
You have been found guilty by self-confession of the murder of Nunzio Pasquale. As captain of this ship, and by the authority of the East India Company, and thus the Crown of England, I sentence you to death by firing line. Mr. Wolf, when you are ready. Right, sir. 30 men.
All right, ready for this? Boom! Got all kinds of stuff going on here. So this is the execution of one of the Formosans for murder. They've got a firing line right here. Now, if you look carefully, this guy is missing slightly to the right. This guy is missing slightly to the right. This guy's missing slightly to the left. And this is the guy who actually hits him. So This is our old buddy Henry Brennan. So we just got to remember that for a minute when we figure out, or when we actually assign the death. Now the other thing, can I tell who you are yet? Yes. This guy who ordered the shooting is the gunner. So go ahead and put that on him. And actually, we can go ahead and do this while we have time too. So this is Hokseng Lao. Oh, okay. Well, did I just read something wrong then? I'll look at it in a minute. Obviously, I got this guy's name wrong. But they said his name. How did I screw that up? Alright. And we got all sorts of people just kind of standing around and watching. Alright, so Hokseng Lao was shot with a gun, and who was he shot by? He was shot by... Where is he at? Henry Brennan. Okay. We still got a bunch that are wrong, though. Okay, she's right. He's right. And that is O'Hagan. So... shot with a gun. He has to have been shot by one of the remaining Formosans. So, Hokseng. You know, I'll worry about that in a minute. Shot cannon unknown, unknown, unknown. Galligan was not knifed by Hokseng Lao. Let's get this fixed. Bang! How did I screw that up? Okay. So this guy. And then this guy is Bang. Which means that Nichols was killed by the one that was remaining, who is 10. There we go. Got that all straightened out. If I just read that more carefully, it would have been fine. All right, close the book. And just a couple other things I want to see. Yeah, this guy is the cook. So if we haven't, I think when we identified the cook, he was blurry. But at this point, he's actually got a fork with him. So that's pretty clearly the cook. Can I identify you yet? No. God. I know who you are. Let's see. And then this one is the guy who did the shooting. So this is 10. That's the rest of the Formosans. anybody else who's doing anything that looks... Actually, I wonder. So, that's Nichols. This is going to be Nichols' mate. Or steward, sorry. This is Martin Parrott, so does that make this... Yeah, third mate steward. I already had him, though. That's the captain. This is the first mate. This guy is the gunner's mate. Because again, notice where he is. He's right behind the gunner, and he's standing right next to the guy who actually gave the orders. That's the gunner's mate right there. I think that's all we can pull apart from this. And now, we get to go see this. Yeah, it just puts the body back right where we were standing. And is that guy the murderer? Of course not. Hello? My accent is cute. Alright. So, a couple things to notice. This guy is the dude who was just condemned to death. There's the chest with a shell in it. So he's down here trying to steal it. And this guy, who is our designated victim, is... what was his name? Mr. Nunzio? Yes, Nunzio Pasqua. And he's being stabbed by this jerk, who is Mr. Nichols. So we'll ascribe his death in a second. Anything else going on down here? I don't think so. So yeah, he's trying to steal the Formosan's treasure and make off with it. And then he does make off with it, but then they come back because they all get attacked and almost killed. And they unleash the hell that is the last... Basically everything we've seen since then is because of this act of thievery. Come on. Alright, what happened to Mr. Nunzio? Mr. Nunzio was knifed. Who was he knifed by? Edward Nichols, who's got a bunch of bodies on him at this point. And I think that's all I can do. This guy's already identified, or at least he should be. Yeah. So he got clubbed in the head. You can see the club sitting right there. He's not dead, though. And I cannot get upstairs, so we've identified everything we can down here. Let's walk off. Let's just double check to make sure that we haven't made any definite mistakes. Shot cannon unknown, shotgun unknown. So there's one. There's two. But we only have two. So the next one, where we know something, ought to give us some information. So. Alright, we're going to stop here because that's the end of this section, so I always keep hitting that button. I think we have one more episode of story because we have Chapter 2 and Chapter 1 to work through. And then we can go through and do cleanup on everything that we don't know with all the information that we've got since then. But we're going to stop right here on the deck. So as always, if you're having fun, like, subscribe, tell your friends. I'm going to be back soon with more. Thank you for watching. And again, we will finish up the story part of the game in our next episode. So we'll see you soon.